Definitely will.
Yeah, that is correct. And talking about this new phase, let's get right into it. Stefan, I don't know if you want to start us off and just give us the high level of what this phase entails and the heroes, obviously, that you can
Take
see on
a
the screen
screenshot
now,
of that.
and what the objective is.
Absolutely. Sure. As you
Reduce
see on the screen,
frustration with
there's
some
Warden,
moves. Yeah.
Peacekeeper, Nobushi, and Shugoki. These are the characters that you're going to be able to play on the testing ground event
Pretty much
front.
just Shugoki.
And as Clarissa has pointed out, if you play them in the event front, they're going to be these new changes that we're going to talk about today. If you play them in any other normal matchmaking, it's going to be the regular stuff. So think of this as like a vision into the future, basically, a vision that you will help us shape. So thank you for your time.
That was beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Thanks. I hadn't rehearsed that at all, I swear. And basically what we're trying to do with these heroes is bring up their viability. We'll kind of break down like on a character by character basis.
Viability, not with
Hit,
Shugoki. Get him out of here.
with each of them.
Berserker,
And
what
we can also use,
faction
like, some of the
is
Shugoki bits to
Griffin?
talk about what parts we think are
They actually
frustrating
did not
and
say.
what
I mean, in
challenges us.
the narrative, he was like on a Viking
Awesome.
ship,
Well,
but
let's get right into
they
it.
really
Kensei, I guess we'll start off with the
really
Warden.
haven't said. But yeah, I
So,
guess yeah.
so for Warden, we're trying to target, like as the previous slide mentioned, we're trying to give every hero kind of like two roles at least, so that they can
But
actually
I think
perform
yeah,
in
it
much
could
better
be a knight, but we
tournaments.
actually have no
Because what we've really
we have
noticed
no
and
idea.
what we've been seeing a lot is that heroes that have a single niche generally are not picked because they're not really viable for tournaments. So for Warden, what we're going to be doing
No,
is
I
we're trying
think
to
in
focus on
I
this
think
offensive
Viking.
1v1 and also something we
Hey,
call offensive 1vx,
I'm
which is
fine with
basically
that.
when you're outnumbered.
They should announce that. I
But
thought
using
I thought they
offensive tools to
would too.
defend yourself instead
Maybe
of being
towards the end,
outmaneuvered.
or they're keeping
With
it
Warden, you're supposed to
a
be capturing points
surprise.
through
But
strong
I don't
offense.
know. He was
Your
on.
defense
I would
points
like
as
it if
well
he
is
was just
supposed to
in the
be strong
Vikings.
offense, and
Honestly,
we're also looking to address
I
a
would
bit of
really like
fairness and
that.
frustration stuff
But
that
he
we've been
is
seeing over the past few
holding,
months and
so it
years.
could
So
be
just to make sure we
knights.
can
I
make a
mean, we
difference
have
there.
no idea.
So with Warden, we're changing three modes. We're addressing shoulder bash. We're addressing his heavy attack, so both openers and finishers.
Okay.
And we're also touching a little bit on his zone attack.
I wish they would
Good?
show.
Okay. So shoulder bash. So first of all, you can no
Oh,
longer access it from back dodge. That's a
no
big
more
change that's
back
been requested
dodging.
by a lot of players. It reduces frustration, makes it a lot better to fight against them. So that's good. He always has a little bit of side movement when
Dang.
you feint shoulder bash, so he's always going to move a little bit when you feint to help make sure that you're able to do feint to guard break after a lot of the options we're giving him. He no longer has that little bit of extra movement when you feint the fully charged version.
That
A
back
lot of the
dodge
time
is
what would
definitely gonna
happen is
be. That's gonna be
you would do a
nice.
fully charged shoulder bash, you would
Yeah, it's
feint,
out.
and then for just like a tiny little bit in the beginning, he would move forward a bit. That made it a little bit hard sometimes to get punishes off of it, and it was frustrating for some players who felt that that my opponent was able to like see what I was doing, react, and feint. So this way, like it's super clear we don't have any problem with that. And then last but not least, shoulder bash can now be accessed after any of Warden's sword attacks. So we have a bit of video for this.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Essentially,
how
you
is
can
this?
do zone attack into shoulder bash now.
Whoa,
Which is coming up. We can do. Okay, yeah.
that's
We can do
pretty
a Death's
cool.
Valiant breakthrough, so dodge for it heavy into shoulder bash.
Whoa.
We can do his sprint attack, lock shoulder bash. And last but not least, we
Dang,
can
they're
do
changing
his
Warden.
neutral heavy into shoulder bash. And we
Wow.
have a final thing here, where is also from his heavy finishers, right? So you go heavy into heavy finisher.
Oh, heavy
into shoulder
finisher
bash.
from the
So
side is
keep it
unblockable,
simple.
boys.
So that's the idea. Basically, Warden with
Not
this
just the
is able
top.
to go into like any of his moves except
Wow.
shoulder bash goes into shoulder bash, which gives him
Fight that you'd see in duel or
Warden
Fiends
mains
especially.
definitely
his
gonna be
flow is so
happy.
much better now with all of these changes. He can always flow back into whatever he's doing.
I know that the flow, yeah, the
Okay,
mix
so
ups
next up
are.
we have heavy attacks changes. There's quite a few.
That's
First,
that's
his
cool.
side heavy openers have
Good
slightly
Warden
fatter
changes,
finishers,
yeah, I
that
agree.
makes
It
him a little
needed.
bit better in
It's just
group
yeah,
fights.
it's
One
just
thing
the
was next
flow
to
wasn't
improve
there.
his
Now
offensive
it's
1vx ability. So
makes
you
it more
can shift over
complex.
now
I
to be able to switch targets,
totally
fight
agree.
heavies, hit a bunch of people around you. You're gonna be better. It also has benefits in
Heavy finishers
lane.
are now
So
900
you're
mil.
Warden's
Yeah,
gonna be a bit more efficient in the lane with this. They also have increased range, so you're able to hit people from a
yeah,
little
I
bit
think
further
positive
away.
overall. Hey, I like
And
it.
again, it promotes that aspect of defensive offense that we have where those attacks were only ever really used after a guard break beforehand. So that's a big difference there. All of his heavy finishers are now 900 milliseconds. So top was 1,000. Wait, Max, go back. So yeah, so his top heavy finisher used to be 1,000 ms. Now it's 900. But his sides were 800 and now they're 900. And the reason we did that is now we can go into the video. All of his heavy finishers are now unblockable, right? So basically, side heavy finishers are unblockable. At
35
so
damage.
That gives them a lot of offense. You actually want to use them now in group fights, like we were saying before. So you can go like maybe do shoulder bash or heavy on one side on somebody, swap target, heavy on somebody else, tag people. They just can't.
Dang, that's a
They actually have to do something.
lot of damage.
And forcing your opponents to actually act when they're around
You get 15,
in this manner,
then 35.
Typically pretty strong because it forces them to do something, and when they're doing something, they're not attacking you. So that's the big idea behind that. The salary finishers also have flat.
Dang, let's go.
Extra movement during their startup. So again, like
meant to pick Warden up.
Them to like switch target, step forward a little bit, hit somebody. You're gonna be able to like hit them a little bit. Like it's gonna work much better than it used to. So that's pretty good. And then the last change we've done is that all of his light attacks now chain to heavy finishers at 100 milliseconds during their recoveries. What this means is that you can always do light, fully buffer your heavy, and then if you think your opponent's gonna back dodge or side dodge or whatever, you can do feint the guard break.
Feint
it
it.
Should always work, which is the point here. We want to make sure this is consistent, that we don't have problems with this. Going, oh well, you know, like I do. You can always back dodge after a light or back roll actually. So that's one of the big changes there for this. So next up we have zone attack. So zone attack.
All right.
On top
I
of
may want to make it back.
the
Yeah.
shoulder bash now.
But I'm all about
recovery
Griffin.
is now 500
I'm gonna be playing
milliseconds,
him,
now
but
from
yeah,
1,000.
Warden.
This is a big buff for group fights. Again, like when we look
Recovery.
at Warden, for example, right?
Dang.
Warden has very little recovery on his own attack. This is kind of similar, and it also helps it so that you don't feel forced to constantly go into your chains afterwards. Beforehand, you would do his own attack.
This
really
is
have to go into your heavy finishers, because otherwise you could get punished really hard. With this, it's a lot.
Like
harder
they're
to get
still
punished.
on Warden.
You
This
can
is
now
this
just
is
throw his own
good.
attack at rent, like
Definitely gonna help him
at
out.
a normal point, if you want to just stop there, if you don't have the stamina for it or whatever. And it also has a bit of extra forward movement, so you can use it from further apart. You can do again switch target zone attack and be able to like swap and go into So that's pretty much it for Warden. Like Stefan, what do you think is gonna happen to Warden with these changes?
So kind of globally, I would think that Warden is going to be a little less slow and stally in a 1v1.
Yeah, now you could
which I think will
constantly apply the pressure.
Duel, but there's really plenty of room for that to happen.
There's so much. This opens up a lot for Warden.
With shoulder bash access as well as the unblockable heavies, is going to be much able to attack.
Just 50,000. It's a little bit of grind, but I would just start saving up now, and then you have 2 weeks until like when he comes out December 10th. You have 2 weeks until he's released to the public, unless you don't buy him. But yeah, just keep grinding. There'll be plenty of orders. It should be.
For example.
It should be good. And then you have double XP, which is the following weekend. Oh no, sorry, they said it was like December. Yeah, December 25th, yeah, Christmas Day. That weekend is double XP.
For their spot on your roster.
So you definitely the grind.
Before,
it's
I would say probably not, and now it's like
should be able to get him fast.
Yeah, definitely.
So just start saving up now.
Peacekeeper.
Oh, here we go.
So where are we going towards with Peacekeeper, Stefan?
Peacekeeper's an interesting one as well. A little weak in 1v1 at this point, and
I feel like she's really.
in group fight.
I feel like she's kind of strong. It's just the bleed. The bleed is just the bleed's unreal.
Wants to get the bleed right now in a fight, and then really try to press her advantage using her enhanced lights. And while this is
any
to external blocker,
any Peacekeeper I go up against, it's the bleed only.
And we're going to try to kind of pump that up.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see what we have. So we're changing a couple of removes, or we're doing some tweaks on all of our heavy attacks. Some tweaks on dagger cancel, on heavy finishers, also.
Let's go.
And also on zone attack. So let's start with heavy attacks. So now all of our heavy attacks now deal an extra 5 damage across the board baseline, including dodge attacks. So that means that her dodge attacks no longer do 5 plus deep gouge, you do 10 plus deep gouge. That puts her damage a little bit above the curve, but being above the curve in this case is okay for Peacekeeper.
That's pretty
It's a
nice.
little bit harder to get her damage in. It'll let her do a bit more executions. So that should really pump her up a little bit. We've been seeing that her numbers have been going really way down since the core combat update, so that should really help her out. Next up, we have dagger cancel changes. So we have a video for this. So you can now cancel the recovery of dagger cancel with a dodge.
All right.
2 milliseconds. That might seem like a odd number. The idea is that when you do this, you still don't have frame advantage in 1v1, but you can use it in 1vx scenarios, and it actually comes out. Rare finishers are not unblockable.
Now unblockable when locked on.
Opponent that's bleeding. So we can see a video of this, where we see Peacekeeper landing dagger cancel, and then
oh,
right. So with those heavy finishers being unblockable, it makes her, and it's like those heavy finishers become so so scary.
Wow.
Because out of heavy finishers, she can dagger cancel, she can dodge, she can guard break. She can let it rip. She can feint. She can do everything. Basically, she has every single option.
That's
option selected. So it gives her zone attack a lot more pressure and a bit more usability in group fights. It doesn't feint as quick as it used to, but it's still like a pretty potent tool.
All right, well, this is definitely gonna help. Definitely gonna help her out.
There's one more thing I want to add. Yeah, so we have a bit of video as to what.
The zone, the second zone is unblockable.
And then all the options out of it.
Wow.
Max plays the other videos. Yeah, so since that was like soft feint to guard break, we have zone attack going into.
That's pretty nice.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's where we get there. I was sure we had the other one, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's it for zone attack. So there's one more thing.
General lock all heroes, in my opinion. No, I agree, dude. I agree. I would like to see
there's one last thing I want to add before recap, because it's not in the slide.
Male, female for every hero.
Second.
I totally agree.
We changed.
That's pretty cool, though.
On her deflect, so when you're deflecting left, right, or front, to a heavy attack instead of a light. The idea being that, like a lot of other characters have that. When you deflect, you do one button, and then if you deflected, you would do your deflect, and if you didn't deflect, you do your dodge attack. So now you have that with Peacekeeper as well. So whenever you're dodging, just always hit heavy if you want to do something, and the right option is always going to come out. So that's pretty good. We can go into the recap now. So Stefan, what do you think is going to happen with Peacekeeper?
I think it's going to be very interesting to see how she performs.
It's going to be
the game plan of get that bleed and then press
get that bleed, and then you can
zone attacks
be very aggressive. I mean, you could even now, but
dagger, or
having those unblockables, that opens up so much. The mind games, is going to be insane. The mix-ups
and then pressure down opponents.
Yeah, just go on the pressure. That's pretty nice.
That's pretty cool too, because she synergizes really well with other bleed heroes like Shaman or.
Oh my gosh! I forgot.
Line, but I forgot it. I guess.
I forgot. That's. No way.
So, yeah, oh man, was Mike going to burn me there?
That's unreal. I forgot about that, guys.
Burn yourself there.
Oh, that's better. Self-burn. Okay, so
PK is supposed to be aggressive. Yeah, but she's right now. She's only got. I mean, there's only so much she can do.
Changes to the testing grounds for the heroes. So, Mike.
Wait.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for going in depth on all of these changes of
hidden attack. The hidden stance heavy attacks rather. Some changes to zone attack, Cobra Strike, and Sidewinder. So let's look at that. So first up, hidden stance. It now costs 12 stamina to enter instead of 24.
Okay.
To give her like a bit more.
They buffed my boy Warden. Yes, they did.
It's not so stamina intensive to cancel your attacks and all these things. It gives her a bit more utility in 1v1 in the lane, in a bunch of different areas. So you should be able to go into hidden stance far more now, which is pretty interesting. Next up, we have heavy finishers. So
undodgeable.
Video for this. So basically now her heavy finishers and the heavy attacks are now undodgeable, right? So this means that in a lot of the cases where you could go into kick, for example, you can go hidden stance to kick, or you can go like kick or whatever. You now have an actual proper mix-up with those undodgeable heavies rather. So that's really, really strong. It gives her much better 1v1 potential.
Little mix-up. Okay.
So
Okay.
that's pretty much the idea behind that. It also helps in group fights. People that try to dodge like excessively around you, you can still tag them. So that's pretty good. Next up, we have zone attack. Zone attack. We also have a couple of videos for these, but so zone attack. The second hit of zone attack was kind of really underwhelming.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Pretty much all the time. So now that second hit can actually soft feint into a bunch of different options. It can soft feint into kick.
What?
Soft feint into dodge. And it can also soft feint into her heavy finisher, right? So you have
And it's
the ability
undodgeable.
of using
Wow.
one where you have a mix up with kick and undodgeable. You can use it in group fights as just dodging into somebody else. You can do a lot of different things.
That's pretty nice, boys.
It makes her a lot more viable in the lane.
Yeah, her damage, it was like 29?
And that heavy finisher can be top left.
29 damage?
Yeah, exactly.
Dang!
You can't just
The zone!
pro players do when it only comes from one side, just blocking that side and side dodge or whatever. So that's pretty good. We also adjusted our stamina cost. So it used to be 40 stamina for the first hit and then nothing for the second. Now it's 20 for the first hit, 20 for the second. We'll see how this goes. It might be a little bit strong, but we'll see where we end up with this.
This is why it's part of the testing grounds, correct?
Exactly, right? That's the interesting thing. We can actually test this out without breaking it. Pretty good. And then
This is unreal.
The second hit now costs 10 stamina. It used to cost nothing. There was a bit of some inconsistency there, so that we're trying to just make it a lot more consistent, more predictable, so that in the way that it works. Next up, we have Cobra Strike. So Cobra Strike now also changed the heavy finisher. That makes it so basically what used to happen with Nobushi is you would land a Cobra Strike, right? So dodge for light or side dodge light, and then your opponent would literally just roll away from you every single time, and there was nothing you could do. It was absolutely impossible to catch them up. So with this now going to heavy finisher, your opponent actually has to stay in place because if they try to run away, you can get caught. Heavy finishers and tag them, which is pretty strong.
Yeah, her mix-ups are
and the fact that when
mind games.
Nobushi, you actually have to respect
all about those mind games.
Does now. So that's actually pretty useful. And then last but not least, I think we have Sidewinder. So Sidewinder, we have a video for this. Sidewinder also now changed to heavy finishers. So similarly to Cobra Strike, you could roll away from every option.
So no more dodging.
And
usually what you would do against a Nobushi, but that's gonna help her out.
You can go Sidewinder into kick or heavy finisher if you're in a 1v1.
This is basically a rework. Yeah, I honestly, it feels like a total rework.
And the other thing we did to Sidewinder is that
this isn't just a buff. This is like a full-on rework.
Used to be at a static 500 milliseconds after the attack. So now what we did is you can chain a little bit earlier at 400 milliseconds, and you can also delay them up to 5. What this does is it gives her more utility in the lane. One of the problems that she had in the lane is that because her timings were so strict and so late, she had a hard time fighting off and contesting the lane or defending the lane against other characters like Conqueror, for example, or Kensei. They have like much better ways of controlling the lane. So with this, she should be able to come back into the lane.
Yeah, this is
a lot more to make her much more viable.
Well done.
So that's it for Nobushi. Stefan, what do you expect is going to end up happening with Nobushi?
I think.
So we're doing tweaks to his light attacks, to Demon Embrace.
He's got a forward dodge attack. How's that gonna look? It's side dodge attacks.
We have a little video for this. So his light attacks are no longer armored. They're still enhanced.
No hyper armor lights, boys. No hyper armor lights.
Program might update frame advantage rules. It also makes it so
Let's go.
You have to be a little more smart.
Let's go.
And just not mash lights constantly and be able to trade all the time.
Exactly.
We're expecting this to make him a lot less frustrating, and it really like he suffers from it a little bit, but it's not.
Shugokis, watch out! You're gonna have to change your playstyle.
Demon's Embrace. So Demon's Embrace, we also have a video for this. We completely removed the armor from it, so you can hear like the word hitting super into it. Part of the reason for that is that it's, if I remember correctly from the data that we have seen, that move is the single highest landing move in the entire game. The data seems to show something like above 80% hit rate with it, which is
hyper armor on Demon Embrace. It's insane. No more.
It's really hard to play against if you don't know exactly
That's out.
what option to use You could do a dodge attack into it, and then you would.
The
still
UB
hit
gods
it,
show
hit
favor
you,
to us.
and it was super frustrating for a lot
Yeah,
of players.
Shugoki with the
So we
dodge
removed
attack.
it
We'll see how that
entirely,
is.
So now you can still use it as a
Yes, no more demon
external
embrace,
weapon.
hyper armor.
Embrace,
That's
you
all
can
they
tank with it,
want to get in
but it's
is
not as
to
strong
hug
as it
you,
used to be in 1v1.
give you a nice
You can't really
squeeze.
rely on it as much. It'll still land, but it won't be like as powerful as it was. Another thing we did is also we lowered the recovery to 1500 milliseconds.
So no
using
top
2000.
heavy.
And
Off.
on top of that, you regain the ability to block at 1200 in this.
Okay. So maybe just a light.
The mismatch there a little bit is so that we don't want people to use Demon's Embrace non-stop. Like we see sometimes some Shugoki players doing. So the recovery.
It's
is
time
a
to
bit
take
high,
revenge on the
but being
Shugokis.
able to
Yes.
block at 1200 makes
Dude,
it
I'm
that
so happy.
beforehand you had players that could roll
I'm
away
so happy.
and then do a dodge forward heavy and still tag you, or be out of stamina, do like forward step heavy and still tag you out of it. With this,
Yeah,
you're
you
gonna
miss the
easily
Demon's
able to
Embrace.
block
It's a
whatever
top
you do.
heavy from anyone.
So you're a bit more safe when you use it, but you can't.
So,
just
but now maybe
constantly.
just
Yeah,
a
you get
light.
punished, but you won't be like insanely punished or extra
Exactly.
punished or double.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
punished
trying to
because of
think.
armor
Yes, it's
get
time to
in the
bully
recovery the
this
second time.
Yeah.
hyper armor. That's
So
funny.
next up we have new attacks. So now he has a dodge forward heavy. We have a little video.
I
for
want to
it.
see that.
So dodge forward heavy.
Okay, so it's like,
you
is it
have
running
a
attack?
sprint
Okay.
animation. It's not armored like sprint is.
It's not
really
hyper
just
armor?
Dodge forward heavy.
That's
it
good.
catches rolls really well.
Can you
typically from what
feint
I've
it,
seen, you
though?
Use it on reaction to somebody rolling and still catch them.
Did they
It's
just
really
give him a
strong.
Nature's Wrath?
We know there's a little known issue right now.
And you could chain it to it?
That can be fixed when the character
Okay.
releases if you still do
And then
that,
hyper armor
because it
on
doesn't execute
the
right now,
chain
but it should.
finisher.
So just keep that in mind. It's a little bug that we're gonna fix.
Put it in your surveys.
Yeah, put it in your survey. That's gonna be good. We're gonna make sure we don't forget it. The other thing too is that it acts as a chain starter, right? So you can do dodge forward heavy into your heavy finishers. And,
Okay.
have a
It's
lot
got-
of pressure out of that. That's pretty strong.
Can you feint it,
And then,
though? That's what I want to know. Can you
Shugoki's
feint it?
final change is he now has
No.
a side
So they
dodge
gave him a Nature's Wrath. Let's go.
basically a
They gave him a
usual
Nature's
headbutt.
Wrath.
So you can go into whenever somebody like attacks you, you can do side dodge headbutt. It gives them an actual
Oh, dodge
option to
headbutt?
defend against bashes, especially the
Comrade,
fast
you called it.
bashes, like, if you look at,
You called it.
Black Prior or Conqueror. Or
Bro, they
Warden,
gave
for
him-
example. They're not going to dodge out of it if you predict it. So it makes them a little easier to punish bashes.
Oh
It
my
also
gosh.
it actually
I like
starter.
it. I'll take it if they're
Basically,
taking
it's
away
headbutt that uses
a lot,
chains,
and
but
then
with
change it
the
to a.
side dodge.
Oh
So
my
it's
gosh.
stamina damage, all that
That's
stuff.
so funny.
Pretty strong. It's really useful. It's good so that because you can't really. Just
Okay, okay.
You can just do feint the guard breaking and catch people, and that's it. So it gives them a really powerful option to deal against bashes, but that doesn't. Really
I like
do
it.
Damage, so it's pretty interesting for that.
No
That's
damage,
it for
maybe
Shugoki.
stamina
So what do you
drain.
think Stefan is gonna
Wow.
do, going on with Shugoki?
I like
think
it.
For sure, it's going to be less frustrating for full pop players. Like that light losing its uninterruptible property is going to be quite good. I
This
think
is.
on the other side, we're going to see way less polarizing matchups. So Shugoki versus Conk or BP or
That's
whatever
so
along
cool.
those
He
lines
could.
is not going to be
He
completely
counter
hopeless for
bash.
Shugoki. And then same on the other side, Shugoki versus someone who doesn't have access to a move like that is not going to be hopeless on the other side. So I'm really hoping to see